What if everything you know about manifestation is backwards? What if chasing your dreams is the very reason they keep running away? Quantum reality doesn't respond to effort. It responds to frequency. The field isn't moved by hustle. It's moved by resonance. That's why the harder you try, the further it feels. The secret, simplicity. Too simple for the mind addicted to struggle. Too powerful for the ego that craves control. Yet this is where the shift happens. Today you'll uncover why quantum manifestation is effortless, and why almost nobody gets it. Stay, because this changes everything. In this video you won't just learn about manifestation, you'll decode the quantum blueprint behind reality itself. You'll discover why effort blocks, why simplicity unlocks, and why most people never access the field. You'll see how thoughts and emotions fuse into frequency, collapsing timelines into form. You'll understand why abundance hides from those who chase, yet flows to those who align. This isn't theory, it's the hidden mechanism behind every breakthrough, every miracle, every quantum leap. By the end, you'll know how to stop asking, stop waiting, and start becoming. Watch closely. Your future self is already waiting. The universe has always been whispering a truth so obvious, so uncomplicated that almost no one believes it. The greatest secret is not hidden in complexity but concealed in simplicity. And that is why humanity keeps missing it. Quantum manifestation is not about rituals, not about endless affirmations, not about vision boards dripping with forced desire. It is the art of coherence. It is the science of resonance. It is the universal law that says, you do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. But here's the paradox. The ego craves effort. The mind worships struggle. The culture around you glorifies the chase. And in doing so, you are trained to vibrate in contradiction, sending signals of lack, while asking for abundance, radiating fear while affirming love, embodying urgency while praying for freedom. The field responds, but not to your words. It responds to your frequency. That is why manifestation appears elusive, not because it is difficult, but because simplicity is unmarketable. The world sells you the complicated path because complexity makes you feel like you're doing something. Yet the quantum field is not moved by your doing, it is tuned by your being. The hidden architecture of the quantum field. Imagine the field as an infinite ocean of frequencies. Every possibility, every version of your life already vibrating, waiting, existing in parallel. In quantum mechanics this is called superposition. Multiple realities coexisting until observation collapses one into form. Your dreams are not distant. They are not someday. They are quantum potentials already vibrating right beside you. But you cannot collapse into them while anchored in misalignment. To select a timeline, you must broadcast its frequency. You must become the resonance of that reality before it appears. This is where most seekers fail. They visualize but don't vibrate. They hope but don't embody. They chase but never attune. And the field, ever faithful, mirrors back their signal. Lack, waiting, urgent. The truth? The signal is everything. Thoughts are electric. Emotions are magnetic. Together they form your electromagnetic broadcast into the unified field. This broadcast either stabilizes a desired timeline or scrambles it into infinite delay. Why nobody gets it? Because the human mind worships drama. If a truth is simple, it feels suspicious. We've been conditioned to equate transformation with sacrifice, to believe value must be earned through pain, and to chase results as if the universe only responds to hustle. But the field is not impressed by your effort. It is not persuaded by your struggle. It is blind to your rituals if beneath them you are vibrating fear. The quantum responds only to coherence, your inner state fully matching the reality you claim you want. That is why simplicity feels so radical. It demands surrender. It requires trust. It asks you to stop performing spirituality and start embodying frequency. The observer effect. Collapsing potential into reality. Quantum physics reveals a mysterious truth. Particles exist as waves of possibility until observed. The act of observation collapses the wave into form. But not every observation is equal. Observation infused with expectancy, trust, and coherence has collapsing power. Observation laced with fear or doubt leaves the wave uncollapsed potential, never actuality. When you look at your life through the lens of urgency, the field hears only lack. The wave remains open, unrealized. But when you observe reality through the lens of knowing as if it is already yours, The wave collapses instantly into alignment. This is not mystical poetry. It is physics wrapped in awareness. The observer is not passive. You are the creator, collapsing possibility into experience with every thought and feeling. Why simplicity scares the ego? The ego thrives on struggle. It needs obstacles to justify its existence. If manifestation were truly effortless, the ego would lose control. That is why the simplest truths are often the hardest to accept. To live in alignment requires no chasing, no begging, no desperate effort. It requires tuning your inner frequency until it matches the life you desire. That's it. Nothing more. But the mind resists. It demands complexity, techniques, endless practices. It wants to feel busy, important, in control. And in doing so, it misses the point. Manifestation is not something you do. It is what you naturally emanate when you stop trying to force and start becoming. Becoming versus asking. Here lies the real twist. Manifestation doesn't happen because you asked. It happens because you became. The field does not listen to requests. It mirrors identities. Most people ask for abundance while being scarcity. They ask for love while being loneliness. They ask for freedom while being fear. The contradiction is the true signal, and the field never lies. The solution is not to ask louder. It is to attune deeper. To remember that the version of you who already lives your desire exists now in this infinite multiverse. And your only task is to embody that frequency until it feels natural, inevitable, already done. The radio analogy. Think of yourself as a radio receiver. If you want to hear the music on 98.7 FM but you're tuned to 88.1, no amount of wishing will change the station. The music is already playing. It already exists. But until you tune, you cannot experience it. That's manifestation. Not forcing the universe to deliver something new, but tuning yourself to the frequency where that reality is already playing. Ancient wisdom, modern science. This is where mysticism and quantum physics converge. Neville Goddard taught, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, not to pretend but to embody the emotional signature of your desired reality. Joe Dispenza explains that when the brain and heart are coherent, they broadcast a unified electromagnetic signal that the field responds to. Abraham Hicks calls it getting into the vortex, the emotional sweet spot where resistance dissolves and receiving begins. Different words, same principle. Coherence creates reality. Why this matters now? Humanity is standing at a threshold. The old paradigm of force, hustle, and chasing is collapsing. The new paradigm of resonance, alignment, and frequency is emerging. Those who grasp the simplicity will thrive. Those who cling to complexity will stay trapped in cycles of life. The choice is not external. It is vibrational. And the moment you stop chasing and start becoming, the field shifts. Synchronicities multiply. Opportunities appear. Life bends around your frequency. The power of emotional signatures. Your emotions are not just feelings. They are vibrational codes. Gratitude, joy, and trust signal expansion. Fear, doubt, and urgency signal contraction. The field mirrors these codes without judgment, simply reorganizing around your dominant broadcast. This is why gratitude is so powerful. It's not about saying thank you. It's about embodying the frequency of already having, collapsing timelines into reality. The quantum shift you must make. Stop trying to make it happen. That mindset affirms lack. Instead, stabilize the feeling of it already being so. When you generate coherence consistently, thoughts and emotions aligned with your desired reality, the universe has no choice but to respond. Because manifestation isn't a favor from the cosmos. It's physics. The field is obedient to resonance. Always. And here's where the field pulls you closer. Because we're about to step into a deeper layer of the secret. What you've heard so far was only the doorway. The real architecture of quantum manifestation unfolds when you realize that reality is not happening to you, it is happening through you. Every breath, every thought, every subtle pulse of emotion is broadcasting into the matrix, sculpting the probabilities that collapse around you. The universe is not some distant force granting or denying requests. It is the mirror of your coherence, bending itself in real time to the resonance you stabilize. The promise now is this. Once you truly understand how resonance stabilizes timelines, you will never again wonder why things delay or slip away. You will see the hidden mechanism, the invisible coding of reality. You will stop chasing outcomes and instead learn to manipulate frequency as easily as turning a dial. This is not philosophy, it is the deepest technology of creation, waiting for you to remember. Here is the hidden pattern most overlook. Manifestation isn't blocked because you're unworthy, unlucky, or not spiritual enough. It stalls because your signal is unstable. You dip into coherence for a moment during meditation and journaling after a flash of inspiration, but then you drift back into doubt, distraction, and fear. That inconsistency is like flickering static on a radio. The music is there, but the station won't lock in. Quantum manifestation demands consistency, not complexity. The longer you can sustain coherence, the faster reality reconfigures around you. What makes this both terrifying and exhilarating is that nothing is outside of you. You are not waiting for permission. You are not bound by timelines. Every possible version of your life exists now. The only variable is how long you can stabilize the frequency of the version you wish to experience. When you stabilize it long enough, the universe has no choice but to reorganize. Not because it wants to, but because it must. Resonance is law. This is why urgency is poison. Urgency is incoherence disguised as determination. It sends the signal of not yet, and the field mirrors not yet endlessly. But when you release urgency and embody inevitability, your field stops wavering. You stop oscillating between it's mine and where is it. That collapse of doubt is the exact moment the wave becomes matter, the potential becomes form. You become the magnet so steady, so certain, that reality bends around you like metal drawn to gravity. And now, let me reveal a secret the ancient mystics encoded in symbols and the physicists have only begun to uncover. Your heart is not just an organ, it is a transmitter. The electromagnetic field of the human heart extends far beyond the body, measurable in meters, but in the quantum layer, it stretches infinitely. The heart's frequency is the primary interface between you and the field. The mind provides the blueprint, the vision, the direction, but without the heart, it is static, electric without magnetism, thought without pull. The heart is what magnetizes. The heart is what makes the field rearrange. This is why love, gratitude, awe, high-frequency heart states are the most powerful manifestation codes. They expand your field, broadcasting a signal so strong it reorganizes probabilities faster than anything else. When you fuse thought and heart, you create coherence, and coherence is the language of creation. This is not an idea to believe. It is an experiment to embody. Test it, and watch how reality begins to fold around you. But here's the catch, and it's where most seekers get trapped. They treat heart coherence like a technique, something to perform in hopes of getting a result. They meditate for 5 minutes, conjure gratitude, and then spend the rest of the day vibrating lack. The field does not listen to moments, it listens to dominance. It reorganizes itself around the frequency you return to most often. That means 1 minute of gratitude followed by hours of anxiety broadcasts anxiety. The field mirrors the majority, not the exception. So the question becomes, how do you stabilize coherence until it becomes your natural state? The answer is radical, and it may unsettle you. You stop waiting for external validation to generate the feeling. You stop needing the money to feel abundance. You stop needing the partner to feel love. You stop needing freedom to feel free. Instead, you cultivate those states internally, fiercely, as if they were already undeniable. Because in quantum terms, they are. When you generate them first, reality has no choice but to follow. When you wait for reality to provide the trigger, you stay in delay forever. Now, feel the urgency of this moment. The version of you who already has what you desire is not far away. It is vibrating next to you, parallel, accessible, waiting. Every second you stay aligned with doubt, fear, or chasing, you lock yourself out of that timeline. But every second you embody coherence, you collapse the distance. This is why manifestation feels miraculous when it happens. Not because it was random, but because you finally stabilized the frequency long enough for the field to mirror it back. And here is another hidden truth. The universe is not testing you. It is calibrating you. Every delay, every detour, every moment of frustration is not punishment. It is feedback. The field is reflecting the exact vibration you are sending. If you keep attracting scarcity, it is not failure. It is data. It is the mirror saying your signal is off. Instead of despairing, adjust. Instead of blaming, calibrate. Reality is showing you precisely where you are incoherent so that you can choose again. This is why manifestation is the ultimate self-honesty practice. The field cannot be fooled by words, rituals, or appearances. It responds only to your true vibration, the one beneath the mask. You cannot fake coherence. You can only become it. And becoming requires one thing above all: remembrance. Remembering that the version of you seek already exists. Remembering that the future is not waiting. It is now. Remembering that alignment is your natural state, not a trick to achieve. And let me pull the veil back even further. When you begin to stabilize coherence, something extraordinary happens. You stop needing proof, because the frequency itself becomes the proof. You feel it before it arrives. You sense inevitability, not as hope, but as knowing. And that knowing, that vibrational certainty, is the most magnetic state a human can enter. In that state, the external world has no option but to conform. Think about this carefully. Reality is a delayed mirror. What you feel now will show up later. If you keep feeling lack, lack multiplies. If you keep feeling gratitude, gratitude expands. The delay is not punishment, it is the buffer of creation, the time-space gap that allows you to choose differently before the mirror hardens into fact. Use this gap wisely. It is your creative playground. The power waiting for you is staggering. Once you learn to live in coherence not as a practice but as an identity, manifestation ceases to be a mystery. It becomes automatic. It becomes the natural consequence of alignment. You stop chasing signs and become the sign. You stop begging for synchronicity and live as synchronicity. Life itself bends to the frequency you stabilize. And now, let the truth land fully. Quantum manifestation is not about asking the universe for favors. It is about meeting the version of yourself who already lives the life you desire, and bringing that version into the now, not tomorrow, not someday, now, because the field responds instantly to who you are being. And the moment you choose coherence as your default state, your entire timeline rewrites itself. And now the field leans closer, because you are ready for the next revelation. What you've heard until now was the architecture of coherence, but beyond coherence lies a deeper mastery, the art of timeline selection. Imagine every possible version of your life already exists, not in theory but in quantum reality, vibrating as parallel streams of probability. Each decision, each feeling, each energetic broadcast is a key turning the lock of which stream you step into. You are not moving toward the future, you are choosing among futures, and the choice isn't made by action alone, it's made by vibration. The promise before you is this: once you grasp timeline dynamics, you will stop living reactively and begin living as a deliberate architect of reality. You will see that destiny is not fixed, fate is not imposed, and nothing is predetermined except by the frequency you stabilize. This is the secret mystics hinted at in allegories, and quantum science now edges toward with trembling wonder. The universe does not hand you a single path, it lays infinite paths before you, and your state of being determines which one crystallizes into matter. Here is the hidden mechanism. Synchronicities are not coincidences. They are evidence that you have locked onto a timeline. They are the quantum breadcrumbs showing you that the wave you observed has collapsed into probability streams that magnetize supporting events. Every strange alignment, every impossible connection, every uncanny meeting is proof that the field has reorganized around your resonance. When you ignore them, you miss guidance. When you follow them, you accelerate collapse. The reason most people feel stuck is because they mistake signs for luck instead of feedback. They beg for miracles while overlooking the quiet nudges that appear daily. But the field is subtle. It does not shout. It whispers through synchronicity, through intuition, through patterns repeating until you pay attention. When you ignore these whispers, you return to incoherence. When you honor them, the field amplifies. This is why those who live consciously begin to feel reality accelerating, as if time itself bends to their alignment. Now listen carefully. Time is not linear. What you call past, present, and future are parallel vibrations experienced sequentially by a mind addicted to order. But in the quantum layer, all outcomes coexist. You are not bound by the clock. You are bound by frequency. Shift the frequency, and the past reorganizes, the future reconfigures, and the present bends. This is why miracles defy logic. They are not violations of law. They are demonstrations of higher law. They occur when you collapse into a timeline that was always there, waiting, unseen until you align. So, how do you shift? You begin by releasing the obsession with how. The how is the ego's grip, the mental demand for control, the cage that locks you out of possibility. In the quantum field, the how is irrelevant. The field organizes pathways beyond the comprehension of the mind. Your only task is to choose frequency. When you radiate trust, the how emerges naturally, fluidly, through synchronicities you could never plan. When you obsess over how, you broadcast mistrust, and mistrust collapses only into delays. Feel the urgency of this truth. Every thought infused with emotion is not just personal, it is architectural. You are not thinking idly. You are coding reality. The nervous system becomes the transmitter, the heart the amplifier, and the field the receiver. And once you know this, every moment becomes sacred. You stop wasting energy on fear because you see fear for what it is, a frequency that collapses timelines you don't want. You stop indulging doubt because you realize doubt is not harmless. It is creative power misdirected. The field listens to all signals without judgment, and your world reshapes itself accordingly. This is why mastery requires vigilance. Vigilance not in fear, but in devotion. You must become the guardian of your frequency, the navigator of your timeline. You must catch yourself in the act of incoherence and shift, not later, not tomorrow, but now. Because every now is a selection point, and every selection compounds. What you consistently choose becomes the dominant broadcast, and the dominant broadcast crystallizes as lived reality. And here is another layer of the secret. Emotions are not just internal states, they are portals. Each emotion opens access to a different range of timelines. Gratitude opens paths of expansion. Joy opens doors to abundance. Trust opens streams of opportunity. Fear opens gates of contraction. Anger opens loops of resistance. Your emotions are not simply reactions to reality. They are invitations to realities. To indulge one emotion is to step onto the corresponding path. To shift an emotion is to shift timelines. This is why emotional mastery is quantum mastery. The heart is not only the transmitter, it is the selector. But do not mistake mastery for suppression. Suppressing emotions traps energy and reinforces incoherence. True mastery is transmutation, acknowledging what arises and then consciously choosing the frequency that aligns with your desired reality. When fear appears, you don't fight, you breathe, observe, and redirect into trust. When doubt surfaces, you don't panic. You remember it is only a broadcast option, and you choose another. The field is infinitely patient. It will always reflect the signal you return to most often. And when you practice this long enough, something extraordinary unfolds. You stop chasing evidence and start generating it. You realize the power was never in the ritual, never in the words, never in the vision board. It was always in the coherence of your signal. And as you stabilize it, the world responds like liquid light, molding itself into shape around you. Doors open without effort. People appear without explanation. Opportunities align with uncanny precision. This is not fantasy, it is physics woven with awareness. The deeper secret is that you are not manifesting at all. You are remembering. The reality you seek already exists. Manifestation is simply the act of aligning with it until it becomes visible. You are not summoning something new. You are collapsing into what already is. And the simplicity of that truth is why most people miss it. They expect effort, ritual, complexity. They overlook resonance, coherence, frequency. But the universe does not complicate what is natural. It only reflects. So I ask you now, what are you reflecting? What frequency do you broadcast when no one is watching? When your words fall silent and only your vibration remains? That is the truth the field listens to. That is the reality you will collect. And until you choose coherence, you will continue to chase what is already beside you. But once you choose coherence consistently, you will realize you were never chasing at all. You were always selecting. You were always the architect. And now the urgency sharpens. Because with this awareness you can no longer claim ignorance. Every thought, every emotion, every energetic state is a selection point. You are sculpting your life in every instant. The only question is, are you sculpting deliberately or unconsciously? The universe does not pause to wait. It mirrors relentlessly, faithfully, unconditionally. And the moment you embody the frequency of the life you desire, that life cannot help but appear. Not as a miracle, not as luck, but as luck. Most seekers stumble, not because the field withholds, but because they broadcast static disguised as intention. They confuse wishing with aligning. Layering desperate thoughts over frequencies of doubt, they chase signs instead of becoming the signal. Watching the mirror while forgetting they are the source, they overcomplicate the process with rituals, techniques and endless how, not realizing simplicity is the ultimate power. They embody lack while declaring abundance. Unaware the universe listens to vibration, not words. They cling to urgency, which only multiplies waiting. They ignore synchronicities, the breadcrumbs of the field, mistaking them for coincidence. Each mistake delays collapse, yet each holds the hidden invitation. Return to coherence, stabilize resonance, and reality will bend. Day 1. Immerse yourself in the frequency of your desired reality. Breathe, feel, and inhabit it fully, collapsing timelines into alignment as if it already exists. Day 2. Observe every thought, emotion, and impulse as a quantum signal. Discard incoherence, amplify resonance, and allow synchronicities to emerge as evidence of your field responding. Day 3. Act from the state of already being. Make choices, move, and speak as the version of you who lives your manifestation, letting the universe bend effortlessly around your stabilized frequency. If this message resonates, it's your signal to step fully into the quantum field. Subscribe now and stay tuned, because each video is a multi-dimensional key unlocking realities you've only glimpsed. Engage not as a passive observer, but as a co-creator. Comment below. I align my focus and broadcast your resonance into the field. This is not ritual, it's activation. Every view, every interaction, every choice here accelerates your transformation, collapsing timelines in your favor. Don't wait for external proof. Your consciousness is the lever. Align it, amplify it, claim it, and watch the universe bend to the version of you who already knows.